Hello everyone, this is Suresh, physical preparation coach. In this video, we're going to discuss all things warm up and how to do it properly. So in DFast, I use this protocol. We first start with SMT. I don't want to call it SMFR, which is self myofascial release, which is impossible to do self myofascial release using the foam roller or any other instrument of choice. So we first start with the self manual treatment using foam roller, balls and any other instrument of choice which the trainee prefers, followed by static stretch. It can be either passive or active. So most of them will fear and relate to studies that static stretches will ruin strength and power development during the work sets. So I'm not a big believer of it because I prefer and believe what works for me. So you are only stretching the tonic muscle and stiff muscle groups here and the main working muscle group here. The third part of the warm-up is dynamic warm-up. It can be some form of calisthenic arm circles, push-up of the working muscle, desired working muscle. The fourth part, most ignored in any warm-up, is the priming of the CNS system. So you have to do some kind of explosive work before jumping into the main work sets. So for push-up, it might be a variation of wall clapping push-up or incline clapping push-up just to excite the muscle and activate those type 2 fibers. So there are two types of warm-up for training and training for warm-up. There's a slight difference between both. So another, the warm-up for training is what I just mentioned above. Training for warm-up is totally different. So here is a good example of poor and bad upper body warm-up. So what you usually see at most of the AD trainers you see in a normal commercial gym and many physical therapists, they just go through these bullshit. So which is 37 garbage reps. Let's say we want to warm for 4 sets of 8 with 70 kg. They start with a bar doing 15 reps, followed by added some weight like 30 kgs. They do 12 reps and finally they add 5 or 6 more kgs to it and do another 10 reps. If you observe closely, the warm-up is more than what the total work sets is. 4 sets of 8 is which is 32 reps, but the warm-up exceeds the work set by 5 reps. So you are exhausting the muscle before getting to the warm-up set itself. So a good upper body warm-up would be like this. You first self-manual treatment of the T-spine, chest, lats and triceps muscle. I prefer rolling 2 sets of 15 to 30 seconds, followed by static stretch of the pectoral minor muscle, lats, triceps and forearm. I prefer not holding for time, but you count your breaths. 2 sets of 5 to 8 breaths will work perfectly, and followed by dynamic warm-up. You can use band apart, shoulderless location using bands or plastic PVC pipes, some form of push-ups and arm circles. Here you are training for warming up, so you have to use it wisely and keep the reps and sets low. 2 sets of 8 to 12 reps would be good, followed by priming activity. It can be scaled according to the level of the trainee. For advanced trainee, they can do clap push-up from the floor. For intermediate, incline push-up, clapping push-up or explosive push-up would be fine. Or you can use any form of speed incline press or any pressing movement using rapid action. 2 to 3 sets of 3 to 5 reps will work fine here. For the big work set, which is 4 sets of 8 reps with 70 kg, I go through 5 warm-up sets, as you can see here, starting with 30 kg for 5 reps. The second warm-up set would be 40 kg for 3 reps. The third warm-up set is 55 kg for 2 reps. The fourth warm-up is 65 kg for single. And the last one you can see here, I am going 5 kg above the working set just to excite the muscle. It's called potentiation. So the last set is 75 for 1. As you can see, the entire warm-up total reps is 12. So the working set is 4 sets of 8 of 70 kg. The total reps is 50 reps including the warm-up. I don't want to do garbage reps and exhaust the muscle. We are trained to stimulate, not to annihilate the muscle. So maybe even if you do 32 reps on working sets, only the stimulating reps matter. Though the stimulating reps would be the last 6 to 8 reps of the movement which you are practicing. So guys, there you have it, how to do a warm-up properly. So start incorporating some of this useful method which I just explained to you, and improve your trainees.